Recently, the nation of North Korea, with the lunatic leader, the dictator Kim Jong-un, unnecessary, why they claim that they have developed a hydrogen bomb and tested it. That's what they did. So right away, a lot of people in the region and around the world got upset. Hey, what are you doing with that hydrogen bomb? And the United Nations was upset. The United Nations said that, hey, Kim Jong unnecessary, you just in violation of a United Nations resolution. How dare you violate a United Nations resolution? So the United Nations, in response to North Korea for violating that resolution, they said, we're going to issue another resolution. That will show you, eh? You violated that resolution. Let's see if you violate this new resolution. Now, how stupid is that? That basically is another illustration on how worthless the United Nations is. For the past 2 years, I have been blessed to be part of an NGO delegation to the United Nations, Geneva, Switzerland, the United Nations Human Rights Committee. And the reason why we were there was because leftists in Japan filed some charges, human rights charges, against Japan to the UN. They were unsubstantiated charges. Well, the UN still took them serious. So that, what the hypocrisy of this was, on that Human Rights Committee, the UN, there were a number of people there who come from countries which their human rights are overtly questionable. Number one being Saudi Arabia, who recently executed 27 people. Saudi Arabia, where women's rights are curtailed. Saudi Arabia, if you're not a member of the religion of peace, you don't belong there. Saudi Arabia, where there's something like, I think, 27 offenses that result in a capital crime. So they're going to admonish a civilized nation such as Japan for charges that have not been substantiated. See? That's the UN. Let me tell you something. One of the last countries on earth to be dragged in front of the Human Rights Committee is Japan, because it's highly civilized and they do respect human rights. Gee, and I got a taste of that this past summer in Okinawa. A group of us were walking down the sidewalk where the communists were protesting the American bases, and the police pretty much restrained us and them. In this one situation, one of the communist women was cussing. Ooh, is that lady not a lady. Ooh, is that woman cussing? Worse than a drunken sailor that I ever heard. Well, as I attempted to get close to her to enjoy her vocabulary, the police restrained me. Rather peacefully they restrained me. They weren't rough or anything to that nature, proving once again they do respect human rights. Had that happened in another country, I would have been slammed to the ground. I would have probably been turned around, handcuffed, and dragged off. But because the Japanese respect human rights, I was handled gently by the police. So it's rather unusual, I should say unusual, it's hypocritical for the UN Human Rights Committee to be calling Japan in front of that committee when they themselves, members there, come from abusive nations. See? We're going to issue another resolution. That will show the North Koreans. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the nation you happen to be in. God bless our good friends and trusted allies in the land of the rising sun, Nihon Japan. Who tolerates me, kids? See you.